Thanks for joining us for Your Voice, Your Stories. I'm Cara Burnett. Each week we highlight important issues impacting your community and introduce you to people working to make our neighborhoods better. Here's what we have for you tonight.
City Council has a plan to address affordable housing by starting with parking, but not everyone is on board.
This area was supposed to hold a new library for Middle River, but the proposal was canceled by the county executive.
A town in Carroll County is in the running for a national award. Why its Main Street is getting a lot of attention. But first, we begin tonight in Baltimore County. A waterfront development in Dundalk has neighbors taking sides. WMAR 2 News' Raven Payne has the details.
An over 5-acre townhome development right behind me here in Dundalk is garnering a lot of mixed reaction from neighbors. Some people saying this will be good for Dundalk's economy, while others want this to come to a full stop. Sheltered Harbor 2 in Dundalk is an around 5.5-acre, 89-unit townhouse development right on the waterfront. The project has been in the works for years, but has gone through stalled periods until recently.
The land just transferred ownership to the builder, Lennar, which is usually a sign that they're getting ready to start actually building, like they're in the final stages of development.
Robert Mazzotti has been following the development closely, saying he has some reservations with it.
I do see issues with like building right on the water and taking up some of the very last open space we have, as there is very little developable land left in this area.
But he sees an upside in the projected cost of the townhomes.
The ones that are going to be built here are almost certainly going to be above $400,000. And that is very good for the economics of the area because it can bring in higher income people and improve the demographics of the area, which attracts more like businesses, shops. It brings more tax money into the area.
Many people on social media don't agree with him, saying they don't want the development because it's going to jack up property values.
It does drive up property taxes for other people in the area. But at the same time, I feel like, at least in this immediate area, like you know, there and here, it's in a pretty similar boat because they're both relatively recent developments that are somewhat upscale.
Residents on social media also sounding the alarm about added traffic the development can bring after it's finished. One person wonders where kids who move into the townhomes would go to school, saying the area's schools are already full enough as is.
Dundalk is over 67,000 people. 89 units is not a whole lot.
I reached out to Lennar for comment and to ask if there's a start date for construction, but they haven't gotten back to me yet. In Dundalk, Raven Payne, WMAR 2 News.
Baltimore is considering making changes to how much parking developers have to put in place. City leaders believe it's a small change for the better, but as WMAR 2 News' Blair Sable explains, not everyone is convinced.
Each one of these things can help address affordability, and combined, they start to really move the needle. I don't think we're going to see significant changes overnight.
We're getting a lot of catchphrases and clickbait, but no one's addressing us.
Sometimes this Remington parking garage only gets half full, but neighbor and advocate Jed Weeks looks at it as half empty.
So that's millions of dollars of unused space.
Across the country, parking minimums have been standard requirements for new builds, and parking advocates, and yes, they exist, say it's part of the reason why there's an affordability crisis.
We talk about it sometimes as the dark matter of the urban landscape, the thing that nobody thinks about or finds interesting, but that ends up dictating the form of everything else around us in really profound ways.
The thing about off-street parking is it can get really expensive. We're talking thousands per spot. And if developers want to make that money back, they can by raising your rent.
The price of rent has gone up exponentially, even over the last 5 years. Between 2020 and 2025, the average rent in the city of Baltimore has gone up $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year.
Across the country, more than 100 cities have repealed their parking requirements, according to Daniel Harrigiz with the Parking Reform Network. Could Baltimore be next? City Council has introduced the bill as part of the Greater Housing Options and Opportunity Housing Act.
Buffalo and Seattle, we had a study that looked at areas where parking mandates were repealed in those cities. And a few years later, what they found was that 70% to 80% of new residential buildings still included parking. But 60% of the homes, the apartments in those buildings, were in buildings that would have been illegal under the prior code.
Does that do anything to make you feel better about this?
They're not going to do anything that they aren't made to do.
But for those across the city, it's hard to trust the right thing will happen.
I'm appalled. We're in a congested space. We're also in a community that unfortunately has 3 more major apartment developments coming on board.
Betty Bland lives in the historic Sharp Leadenhall neighborhood and says she already feels squeezed in on all sides by a new apartment complex, both stadiums, the casino, and Topgolf. Plus, it's already hard to find parking, and on game day, forget it.
I'm 75. If I have to park 3 or 4 blocks away with my groceries, I'm really not going to be able to do that successfully.
So can it work in a city known for its diverse patchwork of neighborhoods? Renee Mitchell and Marita Goodman in Garwin Oaks say they'd like to see a more nuanced approach.
I think it's a good idea for certain neighborhoods. You know, Baltimore is not a cookie cutter area. Each neighborhood is different, and we all have different needs and concerns, and that needs to be addressed.
You come home and the street is filled up with cars. Sometimes down the street you will see people have to park on the grass.
Due to the size of the homes, these are more likely to be turned into multi-family homes, which means more adults, more cars, more parking issues.
The bill is expected for a second reader at Monday night's City Council meeting. In Baltimore, Blair Sable, WMAR 2 News.
I'm Jeff Morgan in Baltimore County. The effort to get a new library built in Middle River is being thwarted by the county executive. The developer and the county council member that represents this area aren't giving up hope.
The Middle River Library, it was projected to go.
For now, a vacant lot sits in the middle of the newly built Greenlee community with nothing but construction materials, the planned site for a new library to serve the people of Middle River. County Executive Kathy Klausmeyer said in a statement the library would add tens of millions in unanticipated costs for lease payments, equipment, and maintenance over the next several decades, adding that these new annual costs would elevate the risk that tax increases would be needed. The community members here are frustrated with the decision.
My community and Middle River are very disappointed. This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
The opportunity, St. John Properties offering to pay for the upfront costs, then lease the library back to the county. According to Tamara, it would cost about $15 million to build the library.
It would have been in the heart of the Greenlee community. It would have helped the businesses and restaurants here, and it would have been a great amenity for 6,000 residents.
Councilman David Marks, who represents the area, says the community is moving on following the denial.
We are moving past the Klausmeyer administration. We are looking to the next county executive. We're going to continue to talk to the developer on our own, and we're going to tee this up so that the next county executive hopefully can embrace this idea.
Klausmeyer added in her statement saying this decision was not made lightly and in no way diminishes our resolve to invest in our public libraries when fiscally responsible. A frustrating decision to the community of Greenlee, who wants this sooner than later.
We have hardworking families who have latchkey kids. They can't walk 5 miles. You wouldn't trust your kid to walk 5 miles, and there's no sidewalks. So there's no place for them to go.
In Baltimore County, Jeff Morgan, WMAR 2 News.
A small downtown in Carroll County is up for a big award. The National Main Street America organization chose 8 semi-finalists for its Great American Main Street Award, and Sykesville is one of them. It chooses Main Street programs which innovate and transform while preserving their history. And even though Sykesville is one of the smaller main streets in contention, that only motivates them more.
The people down here, not just the board members, work really hard to make sure the town is well known. We have a lot of really large events for such a small town, and I think it drives a lot of business and people to come down here.
Sykesville will find out whether it earned the award next April in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 3 of the 8 downtowns will be recognized.
WMAR 2 News, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back to Your Voice, Your Stories. A new exhibit highlights the history of Lumbee Indians in the area. As WMAR 2 News' Maria Morales reports, you'll find it at East Point Mall.
These banners tell a story most Baltimore residents don't know. The majority of Native people living in Baltimore are citizens of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina, like Jeanette Jones, whose family moved here in 1959.
You never hear nothing about Native Americans. It's like we're forgotten people.
The migration from the South to Baltimore for work following World War II is a familiar story for many families here. Now it's finally being told through the lens of the Native American community. In a new exhibit, Beyond Baltimore Street, Living Lumbee Legacies, curated by Jeanette's niece, Dr. Ashley Minner Jones, a folklorist and former UMBC professor of American Studies.
When my niece was about 4 or 5, I said to her, "You gonna go with me and you're gonna learn about your people." She learned all about her culture. She did the history and the research that you're gonna be able to see today.
The exhibition is the result of a year-long Library of Congress grant project. Ashley and photographer Jill Fannin-Previs collaborated with 16 Lumbee elders to record their stories, including Jeanette and her husband, Heyman Jones.
It's really important that we do it right now because many of the people featured in this exhibit are in their 80s. One is 99, and one actually passed away over the course of the project. So it's almost like we couldn't get it done fast enough.
The Lumbee community settled in East Baltimore around Broadway Avenue, what they affectionately call the reservation, while blending in with the community around them.
As soon as Lumbees got here, I would say the majority of folks intermarried. So every ethnicity there is in East Baltimore, there's now a Lumbee version of that. We have Polish Lumbees, African American Lumbees, Greek Lumbees, Italian Lumbees.
Yet they kept their own culture alive through the Baltimore Native American Center. Now these oral histories, transcripts, and photographs will go to the Library of Congress and to the Ashley Minner Collection at UMBC's Kuhn Library.
There are generations, including mine, after them that can only explain who they are by talking about Lumbee and Baltimore, and that's because they made a decision to come here and stay.
The exhibit will be at East Point Mall until November 7th, then it will be touring the region. In Dundalk, Maria Morales, WMAR 2 News.
October is National Chiropractic Health Month, and a physician in Harford County is making sure that people hear a message loud and clear. As WMAR 2 News' Randall Newsom reports, they don't just want to make sure that your back is healthy, they also want to improve overall wellness and to pass that mindset along to future generations.
You could be an advocate for your own health. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to live in pain.
Dr. Rosh Harold knows how to get a feel for problems.
1, 2, 3.
And then fix them.
Whoa!
As a chiropractor, it's business. As a man with a love for people, it's personal. In fact, you'll be hard-pressed to find somebody more excited to be at work.
All right. Looks like we got us a live one here.
Just ask his most trusted employee, his wife, the other Dr. Harold.
He's actually the best boss I've ever had. He comes into the clinic singing with a great attitude, and that is infectious. And that's what people need to get better.
I'm always excited, yes, to come into work and to be a part of the community, but when we're outside the doors, that's our true mission, to really let people know that there's help.
I just wanted him to promise me he would never change because he is absolutely incredible and he's one of a kind. Listen, everybody else is taken. Why not be yourself?
Creating a culture of service and a service to humanity. If that sounds like it should be in a book, that's because it is.
After practicing for about 17 years, I've realized people were coming in with the same issues. They were dealing with the same problems. Not just them, but people in their family and all of their friends.
He got tired of watching people follow a one-size-fit-all approach to their health and listening to the wrong advice.
We're just told to kind of just do what everybody else is doing, and we're running on this hamster wheel, and then yet we're not getting the results that we're looking for.
That's what inspired him to seek people out and start applying a little more pressure, daring them to live well.
Dare is a mindset shift. It is something that it's one of the hardest steps that a lot of patients have to take.
And it's not just about treating your body right on the outside.
Anybody that is the heads of their family. If you're going to the supermarket and you're buying the groceries for the family, I'm talking to you.
The Dare to Live Well movement is centered around the idea of generational health, and the Heralds want to get out and deliver that message to anybody who's willing to listen.
My body is designed to be well.
Yeah.
My body is designed to live healthy.
On a regular basis, we are going out into the community, doing talks.
God has blessed us tremendously. So that's why everything that we do, it has to have a community focus. Our decisions have lasting consequences. Whose life are you impacting?
We are part of their team. We're not leading their team. We put them in the driver's seat so that they can live their healthiest life.
The ultimate goal is to motivate you to make the right decisions to take care of yourself, not just for today, but for the long run. Passing that mindset, that currency, along to your children and their children.
Never underestimate the generational health habits that you pass on. That's his legacy, that's our legacy, because we want to see healthy communities across the world.
In Bel Air, Randall Newsom, WMAR 2 News.
Oh, that was a big one.
I'm Janae Wright, and Bakes for Breast Cancer Maryland returns for its annual week-long fundraiser, and I stopped by one local bakery in Little Italy that has a unique treat supporting the cause.
Vaccaro's Italian pastry shop has been in the heart of Little Italy for almost 70 years. And for the past few years, the shop has been partnering with Bakes for Breast Cancer each October to help the organization raise money for breast cancer research. Research Maria Vaccaro says is vital.
I think it touches everybody. Yeah, I don't think you could talk to somebody that breast cancer hasn't affected them in some way.
She says she has a personal connection to breast cancer and understands the impact.
Both my mother and my husband's mother both had breast cancer. My niece, very close, has breast cancer.
So Vaccaro's, along with 4 other bakeries throughout the state of Maryland, are selling unique desserts for the month, and all of the proceeds go to Bakes for Breast Cancer.
We have a special dessert called Dominic the Donkey, and whoever orders it, the whole price of the item goes straight to them.
Vaccaro's also takes the month a step further and creates breast cancer themed cookies to sell as well, and a portion of those proceeds also goes to cancer research.
The other thing that we do is we make these Italian shortbread cookies with pink sanding sugar on them.
Maria says when the organization reached out and asked if they would be willing to raise money, she says there was no hesitation to say yes.
It's near to our hearts because of our mothers, but we know a lot of people that it has affected, a lot of families, and I'm hoping someday there'll just be a cure for it and there'll be an end to it. A lot of women go through this, and it's a lot, and it makes us feel like we want to do something, even though it's just a small thing, but we want to do something.
Over the last 26 years, Bakes for Breast Cancer has raised over $2 million, and over 5,000 different businesses have supported the annual event. And the week-long fundraiser is from October 17th to the 23rd. Janae Wright, WMAR 2 News.
Would you believe this can become as fluid as this? Coming up next, I'll show you a local artist who makes this magic happen.
WMAR 2 News on social media for daily content.
I'm Christy Harper in Towson. Artist David Knopp elevates the humble medium of plywood into beautiful functional sculpture, evoking the motion found in nature. He gave us an inside look at his unique process.
Wood, I love it. I love the sawdust flying. I love carving with the power tools.
Long ago, functional sculptor David Knopp started working with wood.
It's pretty good material to work with because there's so many ways you can make it do what you want.
For him, it was a natural step out of the cabinets and things he'd make around the house.
Basically building boxes, and it got kind of boring. That isn't how I made my living, but it was my side thing.
That side hustle took a turn when he found a book about modern furniture making.
I got turned on to the idea of functional sculpture. Never took a sculpture course, so everything I learned is self-trained.
Picking up tools here and there, he developed a truly unique art. That uniqueness comes from the very nature of his preferred medium.
I got the idea of working with plywood. It was pretty accessible, pretty cheap, good thing to experiment with.
Starting with a basic sketch, he cuts a spine, establishing the basic shape, then painstakingly adds layers outward, finding the fluid lines he's looking for in the finished piece.
A lot of sanding, a lot of time involved.
He says early on he was influenced by what he saw in nature.
Sometimes it could be something as simple as a certain tree growing a certain way, or a piece of driftwood that I found. And I loved the way it had movement and the contours of it.
Eventually balancing the form of nature with the function of objects like lamps and tables. Then in 2012, he received a local artists award that led to big things and proved the level of uniqueness he had achieved. Knopp recalls what the award committee said to him.
I want to tell you, you just won $25,000 in a show at the Baltimore Museum of Art. And I'm like, no way. And at that point, just as we were talking, she says, I think you're like an outsider. And I'm like, all right, I'll take that.
And now, after an Instagram video to promote a talk he gave at Manor Mill in Moncton, his work has gone viral. David says he's not really looking to be an influencer, but...
And I think sometimes that's an attraction to people when they see me, especially on social media. They probably say, oh, this guy's an older guy and self-trained, and look what he can do, I think people get inspired. So that's good.
In Towson, Christy Harper, WMAR 2 News.
If you have stories you'd like us to cover, well, we want to hear from you. You can email us at storyideas@wmar.com. And that's going to do it. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in again next week for Your Voice, Your Stories. I'm Kara Burnett.